This has never happened before in the EV market. So, you know how everyone was buzzing about the lightning fast shift towards electric vehicles, or EVs? Well, it looks like the script has flipped. The government is waving goodbye to the old plan, admitting it wasn't as smooth as they'd hoped. Now they're scribbling out a fresh strategy focusing on zero emissions and sustainability, but this time they're taking it slow and steady, adding a dash of diversity with hybrids and other green gadgets. This shift comes on the back of the realization that the current EV market is not exactly cruising along smoothly. Nope, it's hitting some bumps, as made evident by some 8 eyebrow-raising trends that are making even the EV veterans do a double take. These trends are twists and turns that nobody saw coming. So, let's dive into the world of the EV market's unexpected roller coaster ride. Trend number 8. The sudden slowdown in EV growth. For years, the EV market was like a rocket shooting skyward with growth rates that made heads spin, but lately it's been hitting some serious speed bumps. We're talking about a market that used to boast a growth rate of at least 90% year after year. It was the golden child of the automotive world, with everyone betting big on its unstoppable rise. But then, out of nowhere, the momentum shifted. The growth engine sputtered, and now we're left scratching our heads. In the last few quarters, things took a nosedive. By the end of 2023, growth had slowed to a crawl, clocking in at just 50%. And by January of 2024, it was a downright disappointment, with growth rates as low as 15%. So what's the deal? It seems like the initial hype of being an early adopter has worn off, and now car makers are struggling to attract the average buyer. Looks like the EV market might need a serious makeover to get back on track. Trend number 7, the market oversupply. So here's the scoop. Ever since COVID-19 barged onto the scene, the car industry's been playing a game of supply chain roulette. Semiconductors became as rare as unicorns, making it tough for car makers to churn out enough vehicles, including EVs. But here's the twist. While production was playing catch-up, demand took a nosedive. Remember the days when everyone was clamoring for an EV? Well, those days seem like a distant memory now. Production ramped up, but folks weren't buying as much as expected. Fast forward to today, and we're drowning in excess inventory. Some sources say there's a whopping 500% more supply than just a year ago, and with growth slamming on the brakes, it's no wonder we've got full-blown imbalance on our hands. Some EVs are even gathering dust on dealer lots while manufacturers hit the brakes on production. It's a tough spot to be in. To sweeten the deal and clear out the backlog, car makers are slashing prices left and right. Tesla kicked things off, and now everyone's joining the discount party. Ford even dangled a jaw-dropping $144,000 discount carrot. And yeah, you heard that right. It looks like it's raining discounts in the EV world. Trend number 6, Biden's plan hit a roadblock. So rewind to when the Biden administration was all gung-ho about electrification. They had this grand vision of zipping towards a future filled with EVs, all while giving emission rules a serious makeover. The goal? To have a whopping 2/3 of new cars electrified by 2032. Ambitious, right? Well, here's where things took a U-turn. Reality hit hard. And it turns out the EV hype train was losing steam faster than expected. The EPA whipped up a new plan, but this time they're easing up on the reins. The new proposal dials back the emissions rules and sets a more modest target. Just 1/3 of new cars will be electrified by 2032. And hey, electrified isn't just about pure EVs. That includes hybrids too. But wait, there's more. Pickup trucks, those behemoths of the road, they're getting a pass to stick with gas and diesel for the foreseeable future. It's a clear sign that electric pickups still have some serious catching up to do. Looks like the EV dream might need a reality check before it can hit the fast lane yet again. Trend number 5, dealers hitting the brakes on EVs. Once upon a time, dealers were living the high life. Demand for EVs was through the roof, and they could slap on hefty markups without breaking a sweat, but oh, how the turns have tabled. With the market flooded with excess inventory, dealers are swimming in EVs that are harder to move than a fridge in quicksand. Those fat markups gone faster than you can say discount. Take for instance Baxter Auto Group in Nebraska. They're sitting on a stash of Ford F-150 Lightnings, but they're struggling to sell them. Remember when there were over 200 orders? Now, just 25 sales in a year. And it's not just about moving metal. Dealers are being nudged by big players like Ford and GM to slash out on EV infrastructure. That means selling out big bucks for fancy charging stations and staff training. But let's be real. Most dealers aren't exactly jumping at the chance. They'd rather stick with good old internal combustion engines than dive headfirst into the EV pool. Trend number 4. Ford and GM facing a rough patch. Ford and GM, once titans of the automotive world, are feeling the heat. They bet big on EVs, thinking they could give Tesla a run for its money. But here's the kicker. They've been bleeding cash faster than a leaky faucet. Despite pouring billions into EVs, they're still scratching their heads over how to turn a profit. It's like trying to crack a safe without the combination, and so far, Tesla seems to have the secret sauce. Ford's feeling the pinch hard. Reports say they've been hemorrhaging over $36,000 on every F-150 Lightning they've sold. Meanwhile, over at GM, it's not looking much prettier. They're in damage control mode, buying back shares to soothe nervous investors. With the slowdown hitting them where it hurts, both companies are hitting the brakes on their EV plans. Ford's chopping $12 billion off its investment plans and scaling back F-150 Lightning production. GM is pushing back the release of their all-electric Silverado and is delaying the start of new drive unit production. It's like they've hit a speed bump on the road to electrification, and they're scrambling to get back on track. Trend number 3. Troubles in EV paradise. Now, when we talk about EVs, one name usually steals the spotlight: Tesla. They're not just leading the pack, they're setting the pace. With profits rolling in and sales soaring, Tesla's been the poster child for electric cars, but lately, even the mighty Tesla has hit a rough patch. Their shares are taking a nosedive faster than a lead balloon. Investors are watching closely, and when Tesla stumbles, it sends ripples across the entire EV industry. The signs aren't exactly reassuring. Just in the first week of March, their shares took a 7.2% hit, and by the end of the first quarter of 2024, a whopping 24% slump. Now, let's not hit the panic button just yet. Tesla's far from going under, but these bumps in the road serve as a reality check. Even the big dogs of the EV world aren't immune to the challenges of this fast-paced industry. It's a reminder that when times get tough, even the strongest players have to roll up their sleeves and weather the storm. Trend number 2. The slow crawl of electric pickups. So here's the deal. Electric trucks were supposed to be the next big thing, right? Well, turns out they might need a few more laps around the track before they catch up to their gas-guzzling cousins. Take a look at the numbers. Electric pickup sales are taking a hit faster than a pothole on a dirt road. Rivian's R1T saw a 14% drop in sales last year, followed by a whopping 43% nosedive in January. Ford's F-150 Lightning, they've hit the brakes on production, cutting it in half. And GM, they're hitting the snooze button on mass production of their electric Silverado and Sierra until the end of 2025. So why the sluggish sales? Well, electric pickups still have some kinks to iron out. Limited range, weaker towing power, and a hefty price tag make them a tough sell. Plus, recent research shows they struggle when pushed to the limit, whether it's towing heavy loads or tracking through terrain. Tests on the F-150 Lightning revealed that max range could drop by a third with a decent payload. And hauling a 7,000-pound trailer, let's say it's just not exactly a breeze. Looks like electric pickups might need a pit stop for some fine-tuning before they can rev up to full speed. Trend number 1. The not-so-mature state of EV technology. Now, we've all heard the hype about EVs, the lightning-fast acceleration, the futuristic features, but when it comes down to it, reality paints a bit of a different picture. Here's the scoop. EVs still have some growing up to do. They're playing catch-up to their gas-guzzling counterparts in a lot of areas. Autonomy? Check. Convenience? Double check. And don't even get us started on the price tag and reliability issues. So it's no surprise that consumer confidence in EVs isn't exactly soaring. A recent survey found out that only 40% of folks are willing to hop on the EV bandwagon. But even among that group, expectations are sky high. They want a $50,000 EV that can go the distance, 300 miles to be exact, and recharge in the time it takes to grab a coffee. Here's the kicker. In today's market, there's only one EV that ticks all of those boxes, and you guessed it, it's Tesla. It's crystal clear that EV tech still has some wrinkles to iron out. It's gonna take some serious tinkering and tweaking before the average Joe is ready to embrace this new wave of mobility. So buckle up, folks. We're in for a bumpy but, well, electrifying ride. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel so that you can enjoy more videos just like this.